Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to Energy Speaks Back, powered by Hark. My name is Paul Webb. I'm the founder of B2B Energy, and I'm your host. Weekly, I present to you experts from around the world, and today we are in America, looking at waste to energy. Our purpose, as always, is to provide a good understanding of energy management knowledge from around the world, which is available today for us to deliver savings that impact on our planet. And before we get into our interview today, I would like to firstly recognise our sponsors. They are Umlink, who are taking the confusion out of energy management, the environment, and renewables, and bringing knowledge together to share on one platform. We also would like to say thank you to Clean Energy Revolution, who are a knowledge and networking group for the renewable world, B2B Energy for the 11-week energy program and managing organization's third largest expense, Hark Systems, renowned for their energy software, Alexis Energy for their power management, led by Vision, who are an LED and a controls company, Watts for their electronic and EV transition, Carbon Black Global for their waste to energy initiatives, and lastly, our certificate partners, Esther Energy. Welcome to episode 61 of Energy Speaks Back, powered by Hark. My special guest today has some valuable insights into waste to energy. And our expert today has developed technologies that balance with the environment and business profitability. And he promotes that sustainability is key to success in fueling the next generation. So without any further ado, I give you Earl Decker. So on behalf of umlink.com, we welcome Earl Decker. So good afternoon, Earl, and how are you? I'm hesitating. I'm presuming it's good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It is a good afternoon. I'm doing well, thank you.
Well, I was more worried about the timing, Earl, not necessarily whether it was a good one or not. So you've had a good day already, yeah?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Brilliant. Well, it's great to see you. For the benefit of the audience, we're going to say that this is a second time of arranging. We had a little bit of communication issues with the broadband. We don't know whether it was my end, your end, or the transatlantic link. We'll put it down to...
I learned I couldn't repeat myself. I couldn't remember what I just said.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. So, really great to see you again. It's good that we've now got together, and thank you very much for your patience. So, Earl, for the benefit of our audience today, I wondered if you could give us some background into you personally, and what you're doing now in the industry.
Okay. I really started in the waste energy business about 12, 13 years ago. I got interested. A friend was doing some work with activated carbon. He showed me what they were doing. I immediately walked away and said, I could do that better. No hubris here. but so I started chasing that dream and quickly realized this is a very complex issue. I may have really stepped into it. But we got into looking at converting carbon, and I was looking at using waste products like wood and nuts and to make a simpler process for making activated carbon. And part of that initial response was my partner said, let's fly to Tonga because they have coconuts. And we looked on a website, CIA, average rainfall of coconuts in Tonga is apparently 117 million a year. Wow. I don't know how they come up with that, but phenomenal. So we flew to Tonga, and flying into Tonga, we were circling around the airport, and it looked like half the island was on fire. There's just smoke coming from everywhere. And we were thinking, oh my God, they're burning our coconuts. They should stop.
Yeah.
It's all activated carbon. But when we got into onto the ground, and we started meeting with the people, and a couple of people from Tonga started bringing us around to these villages. It was garbage. They were all burning their garbage, and we were just,
Wow.
and everybody just asked, "Can you process garbage?" So in one flight, we switched from activated carbon to garbage, and it was amazing how much that changed my perspective on, oh my God, this
Yeah.
little island is just covered in garbage and everybody's burning it, and you can smell the plastic, you can smell this stuff in the air, and it's like, this is just horrible. This is a beautiful, beautiful country in the middle of the South Pacific. This just shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
So we came back to Tennessee, where we started a company called Carbon Black Global, and we kind of switched gears. I continued to make activated carbon, and I have a patent for that. Then we switched gears to looking at the waste industry and how could we process waste? How could we do it responsibly, sustainably, lower greenhouse gas, and that's kind of pushed us on a big push to how do we deal with this garbage, and why do we still bury garbage? There is more than enough technology, not including mine, that there's just no reason we should be burying garbage. It is not a mitigation strategy, right? It's just a bury it and run away. This seems in 2022 now, close to it, that we should be better than that. So we went after the process, and specifically looking at a small island, small South Pacific island, any island, to say what technology can work. They don't want to sort. Nobody wants to sort through garbage. It's nasty. It's messy. How can we process this? How can we do this intelligently? And we worked at it. We worked at it for the past 10 years. We've been doing R&D. We built an R&D plant up in Dunlop, Tennessee. Has 2 full-scale autoclaves. We're running full batches. So we've come up with a downdraft gasification in a batch. So we're actually batch processing municipal solid waste at pressure through a downdraft gasification. And what we've come up with is that, yes, we can process garbage unsorted. Don't take it out of the bags. Don't even look at it. Doesn't matter what's in it. Throw it in there. You have tires, throw the tires in. You got a couch, throw the couch in. I don't care what it is. Just throw it in there. Put it into the autoclave. We process it. And
what I remember, just sorry to butt in, but what I remember, can you throw in the likes of asbestos?
You could. I mean, we're again, we're not opening garbage, so
right.
There's drywall.
Right.
There's
so you don't know what's in there.
There's all kinds of stuff in there, and we process that through testing, through R&D. We've come up right now. Our plant operates at 1% of our permitted values, so we're really proud of that. We've come up. Our goal was, my goal was 95% reduction in greenhouse gas. Right now we're hitting 99.
Wow.
We're reducing our garbage volume by 95%, and we're producing a gas that we can generate electricity or coal or heat water. There's a lot of different processes. We've taken that now from the municipal solid waste, and we're going into commercial and industrial sectors to say, let's look at your industrial waste products, and let's talk about how we can handle that, process it. So that's in a nutshell what we've been doing. And 2 years ago, I met with another like-minded individual, Johannes Zebarth. He became the president of both Carbon Black Global and Landera, that we opened specifically to go after the municipal solid waste, so that Carbon Black could focus on what it does best, and that's we design and develop engineer equipment to try to make this a better planet. So that's kind of my place in this world.
There's a lot of content there to sort of come back and ask you many questions, but I really want to know where did it all start? What's your background? What's your experience? What was you doing originally?
Funny enough, originally when I got into the carbon industry when I was a young child. My dad owned a heat treating company, So my first memories are walking into a plant where we're generating endothermic, exothermic gases and adding carbon to steel. So, I was born into carbon. We're all laughing that we're all carbon-based units. We're okay. So, and that's how I got into it. And then I quickly ran away from that as fast as possible because I said I don't want to end up in a factory. So I got into construction, specifically into underground construction, water, wastewater. Getting into that, I quickly decided that this is horrible. We're digging up everything. Why do we have to dig up? Everything's already in the ground. Can't we rehab the stuff that's in the ground? So I got into trenchless engineering, and we started doing a lot of trenchless work. Brought in robots to repair sewers and water lines. Brought into some in situ lining techniques, and that was what I was doing. I was in Hawaii doing that when a gentleman showed me this reactor and said, here's what we're doing. Looked at it from the heat treating background I had. I just knew, wow, that's full circle. I'm right back to this carbon thing.
But it's in reverse where you're going to sort of take it out of the world, isn't it? And not put it in.
It's funny how that it just everybody looks, I'm not sure that I understand it. And I laugh and say, you know what? But just about every heat treater would. They'd look at that in about a second and go, oh, I get that. So that's what brought me into that. And we've had through the trenchless industry, a lot of that was based on trying to reduce our greenhouse gas, reduce our footprint on the planet. And I see this garbage issue is probably the most solvable problem on this planet. It's just so simple to solve.
But it is simple, Earl, and I'll be honest, I was exploring something like this black bag scenario in 2012. I remember I've done some crazy things on the side where we was trying to build a power station on top of an old mine. And we met this company that was going to turn black bags into this they turn it into a fiber, and then we was going to burn the fiber as such. But what I don't understand is we know there's a problem, and I'm going to tell you a story in a minute about outside my front door when I look on my skyline. But we know there's a problem. Government must be aware of all these black bags. We've got teams of people going around the country with vans picking up all these black bags. Well, we have black bags and pink bags now. One's the recycling bag. And they go off and they get these massive piles. We've got a nice walk near us, which is an old place where they was an old dump, and they've turned it into grasslands now because they have to move from one area to the other because it was turning into a mountain, presumably. We know there's this problem, but why are we not doing nothing about it? I don't understand.
People hate change. and there's a whole system of intricate things that have started. Garbage collection. There's people who work for the garbage collection. There's people who work at the dump. There's people who work at the landfill, at the transfer stations, and everybody starts getting worried that they're going to lose their job or that part of the industry is going to go. The municipalities are hey, we get tipping fees. Don't touch our tipping fees. I've been told that straight up. Do not touch our tipping fees. Guys, we're trying to solve garbage problem, and you're worried about your money. You're worried about a $30 or $50 or $100 a ton that you're collecting. So, but you're burying it in a big pile, guys.
But they could still collect it.
What's that legacy cost of taking care of that dump for a millennia?
But it could be turned into this monetization project, couldn't it? Where the dump is now, you build your plant. The lorries come in and out with their same going over this the weighbridge. So there's still tipping values. There should be still a charge. They're not going to lose that charge.
Yeah.
And in fact, we're going to create employment because who's going to man that power station, the plant? It needs manning, doesn't it?
Yeah, the jobs are still there. They're just different jobs, right? And we like to be placed at the landfill. We'd also like to be placed at the transfer stations. we don't have to build a 1,000-ton per day plant, a 2,000 ton. We can build a 100-ton per day plant that you wouldn't even notice. You wouldn't even know it existed at a transfer station. And then all those trucks don't have to travel down the road, and all that savings. And it is a big savings, and it's not invisible money. We as taxpayers, our base, we're paying for all of this to happen in one form, fashion, or another. So it's important to look at that, but also look and say, hey, you know what? I can put a plant at the landfill station, and let's dig that landfill back up, and let's process that dirt. Let's get rid of that leachate. Let's fix. That's not the end problem. It's just that's the beginning. There's a buried lump of garbage there that needs to be dealt with. It's like these Superfund sites. Oh yeah, we have to remediate them. Well, technically, a landfill is a Superfund site. At some point, somebody has to fix that. It's like it or not, it's leaching into our groundwater. These forever chemicals are coming out, and we know it's an issue, and we can do that. We've processed landfill waste. That's not a problem. It's not as great or fast as regular waste, but it still processes, and you get to take back that land, turn it back to what it was supposed to be. And it's a better solution than just turning a blind eye. Everybody smiles. I'm a happy recycler. Everybody goes, well, Earl, you're taking away recycling. No. I like recycling. Reality is most of us don't. We try, but I'm happy if people can start recycling, and if people reduce their trash, even better. It's going to take every one of us to fix this. It's going to take every technology and every one of us to make an impact on the greenhouse gas emissions that we're dealing with. That's just a fact.
But I think your process has made it easier. So, for instance, the UK, and I'm talking about my council, my area, as I said, on 1 week we have black bag. So that's food, plastic waste, and there's certain waste that has to go into it that can't go into the recycle. So then there's the recycle. So 1 week it's black, the next week it's pink bag. Okay. Now that's a pain for me, because that means I've got to keep my waste for 2 weeks before I can actually get rid of it. And I live in an apartment, so that's becoming difficult for me. So we've got bins downstairs where we have a pink bin and a black bin. But that before we know it, the black bins, so every other week they're brimming over the top, they're all over the floor. Sometimes people don't understand, they move in here and then they don't understand what bin goes in where. So what does the council do? Which is, very disappointing. They reject. So if a pink bag is in a black bag box, they take the pink bag out and throw it on the floor. And then the pink bags are slightly transparent. So they will investigate what's in the pink bag. If there's anything that shouldn't be in that pink bag, it gets rejected and they don't take it. Yeah. So then we come along, and I've done it before. You get the pink bag, they've not taken that, so you just put the pink bag into a black bag. Then they take it.
Problem solved, right?
Yeah. The problem for me solved because I've got rid of my bag. That's the problem. But then I've really, something, and this is what I alluded to just earlier. So I came home the other day, and I live on a hill, because I used to live on Canvey Island, which is below sea level. I now live in Benfleet, which sort of overlooks Canvey Island. And then to my sort of looking east, we've got this dump, which is where they take all the council waste. And I was shocked. 2 weeks ago, I looked across, and all of a sudden, we've got this new mound that has appeared. And you can see, a new part of the mountains that appeared. And I'm actually was gobsmacked. I'm going to get a picture. I'm posting that soon. I've got to, because I wasn't too sure, but you could see that and then when you look, you then start to analyze the different grades of ground. You can see where it was originally. And, that's why I'm really keen. I need to put you in contact with these people. We need to get rid of that mound, basically.
Yeah, it's not sustainable. It's not good in any other way. You just look at it and say that's insane. Why are we continuing to do this? And originally it was incinerators, and everybody hates incinerators. Right? They were better than burying it.
Yeah.
The methane gas that's coming off these landfills, it's enormous. It's enormous, and everybody's, well, it's capped and it's suctioned off here. Limited. They're the more the satellites fly over, the more greenhouse gas emissions are monitored. Everybody's realizing that. Yeah, that was, most of that wasn't true. That was said about the landfill gases, and they are a major contributor, and it is honestly something that we could fix.
Yeah.
So,
and we've had quite a few Zoom calls, and I shared that picture with you, didn't I, of them tires? I don't know, where was that, Dubai?
Yeah.
Them tires?
Yeah, Kuwait. Yeah.
Kuwait.
Yeah.
That's just shocking.
And we had talked a couple of years ago. I talked to some gentlemen out in Kuwait about these tires, and said,
right.
And they were, well, would you come out here and just put the plant and then see how it works? So no, no, I will not. But you guys could, look at those tires. Yeah, but it's just wasted ground. I said, last time I checked, property in Kuwait was pretty expensive.
Yeah.
But it is simple to, a lot of the stuff. We're actually just on a phone call with another island group, and they're saying the same thing. We have a massive tire problem. Can you build a process that would do that? Well, it's the same process. You want to process tires, you want to process garbage, you want to process MSW, biomass. I really don't care what you put in our processors. We can deal with that. That's, I think that it's helping move our technology forward, because we have multi-use for it, so that we're not stuck in one genre of garbage or municipal waste.
So, Earl, do you have just one system, that does everything?
Yeah.
Right.
And we can change the downstream to deal with different chemicals, different things, and we're working with a large multinational that's looking at getting rid of their waste. Part of their waste is some of their processed water, and we redid a couple of things and said, and tested, and we could get rid of their processed water in our process. And I'm actually using their processed water to control my temperatures in my autoclave.
Right.
So it's, I learned something about probably 10 years ago, a Russian in theory of invention, Triz, probably changed my life on how I think of problems. Now everything is like a division question. How can I get rid of these things? So will this get rid of this? Will this get rid of this? And everything I look at now is, oh, you've got that. Oh, I could use that here. And let's see what we can do with your waste. And let's, look at the end solutions as well. Because they said, well, we need electricity. One town said, well, we need electricity. I said, well, what are you going to do with that electricity? Well, we're going to heat our buildings. Well, how about I just heat your buildings? We way more efficient, versus turning our heat into electricity to turn it into heat. And it's amazing how quickly you could overlook a lot of this stuff. Your alumni, Omlink, that you just started. I just joined the compressor world part of it,
right?
Because last year our process is probably 90% run on compressed air,
right?
And no big deal. I'm looking at a 40 autoclave processing plant. I'm looking at where to put these 1,100 horsepower compressors, and guys, oh, we'll just put them over here. And I started talking to some compressor guys, and they're going, Earl, you need to eliminate any 90-degree turn, any of this. And we're talking about the power that would take just because you put the compressors over here. So I quickly joined a webinar at Texas A&M on compressed air auditing and management, and realized how much money I would have wasted if I put these compressors over here. and then I started changing. Okay, I can change the whole layout of the plant so I can get my compressors in line. And how do I get rid of, I'm playing with compressed air like it's free, and it is not. It's just a major cost.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
So actually, my brother and I just filed for 2 patents on a combustor and an initiator that work on because of the air issue. And rather than just flying as much blown air into it as possible, we're injecting air at milliseconds, and it's surprising how fast you change
within Umlink. We've got 2 directors. One of them, Daniela, she's based in Chicago. She focuses on the compressor tools element of it and how you utilize compressed air. And then Elvira, she's based in Europe. She focuses on the performance of the compressor. So they're both highly intelligent and qualified within that field. Elvira, she's a doctor, Dr. Elvira, we should call her really, but she's bang on the money regarding performance and compressed air. That's why we've all come together.
I'm looking forward to talking with them. I'm looking forward to. So oh yeah, I'm in.
Well, thank you for joining that, and we look forward. We're excited about you being part of that group because of your, what you're doing with waste to energy, which excites me as much as anyone, because from my past of what I've seen. So you mentioned your brother. What does your brother do?
He is retired. He was in a serious car accident about 25 years ago, had a severe head trauma, and he retired from the world because he gets stressed out very easy, but he's still really a smart guy.
Yeah.
So me and him get together 15 minutes at a time and come up with how do we change the world.
and you can change it in 15.
Okay, now Earl, go do that.
I'm done. And you can change it in 15 minutes. I'm very impressed, Earl.
Yeah, well, multiples.
So
we have we got together on these 2 projects, and he's part of my company that holds some of these patents, which is Bright Sands Inc. And so we just that's how he got involved in it. He was the plant manager for my dad's company before he got into an accident. So
all right. And is your dad still around?
No, my father passed in '96, quite a long time ago.
Right. And is his company still around?
No, he got crunched in 2000 or 1987, 88, when that whole auto market collapsed.
Right.
It was just before the .com major change. So he closed his company and
got out of it.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So
he was happy. He was happy to be out of it.
Yeah, I can imagine. And you congratulated as well, did you?
Yeah.
So where are your systems now? How many systems have you got? Where are they based?
We currently only have our mountain facility. So we've got our 2 autoclaves that we're working. We're in an MOU with Sequatchie County. We're getting prepared to build a 100-ton per day plant in Sequatchie. I have a couple of meetings next week. They may jump that to 200 tons per day, which I wouldn't mind either. More garbage I can run. I can't actually talk about where we're about to go, but we have about 40 plants in the works.
40?
Yeah, and then that will come out of the woodwork probably in January, February.
Right. All in the US, or are we going to see them sprouting out globally?
Quite a bit in Europe.
Right.
A few in the South Pacific, and a couple actually only a couple in the United States. But hopefully, I think over the next course of the year, I think that's going to change considerably.
Brilliant. That's fantastic news. And then any plans for the one in Essex, which I've got
absolutely,
out my window?
I'm ready.
Just introduce you, yeah. I need to dig me tax bill out to find out where I'm paying that money to find out
Yeah.
who's picking up my check.
It's funny because we when we first started this, everybody's talking about, we only pay $35 a ton. I said, really, do you? You think you do? Do you think that actually cost 35? Was there a truck that picked that up? Oh yeah, that's right. Well, that's a different bill. And then I go through this with the land, with the college or the community counties, and they'll go, well, we only pay this. Well, you had to pick it up. And do you own the trucks? Oh yeah. So you have maintenance on your trucks? Oh yeah. Well, yeah, that's in a different budget. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's always, well, it's a different budget. I said, but it's
Yeah,
still
and
the
then
same
there's the
cost,
staff.
guys. Yeah.
Then there's
It's
the
a
staff
cost.
to pick it up.
Yeah. And then Sequatchie County, they're paying for where they had buried their garbage in Bledsoe County, and Bledsoe County closed their landfill facility. And as Sequatchie says, every year we get a bill and we have to pay legacy costs, and it will go on forever unless something happens to that landfill. So, well, would you like me to go dig that up? Yes, I'd like you. Sequatchie County would like me to go take all their garbage back so they can stop paying that legacy cost. I said, I believe everybody would like to do that. So there is a way out of this mess.
What's the future for Earl Decker? What tell us what your future is regarding this product and what you're doing.
Busy. Probably busier than I wanted to be. I really just wanted to make some activated carbon, sit on a beach in Tonga and drink out of coconut with little umbrellas. That was the whole plan to begin with.
That was the plan.
I am not seeing that happen.
You shouldn't have started putting fires out. Oh, that's your problem.
Yeah. So busy, as fast as I can build these plants. We're working on everything that we're doing is 3D modeled. Most of the parts that we're looking at, even the combustor and the starters that we're working on, we're looking at doing 3D modeling for it so that we can, again, just follow through on sustainability and lowering our costs of everything, and try to make everything as easy as we possibly can to get rid of the garbage. And hopefully I'll be able to retire and know that I've done something to help this planet.
I think just that one plant you've put together has done that. You've paid your dues, and now you're gonna replicate that 40 times, and I think that's absolutely awesome. And well done to you, Earl. Congratulations on that.
It'd be fantastic. I'd just be happy.
Well, I look forward to seeing those being opened. So, Earl, I've put you on the spot. I know all the time. It is cool. And I let you off before, but now you're back on it. So, Earl, I like to put my guests on the spot, as you know. So, is there anything you can give back to the industry today as a takeaway for our listeners today?
I guess I said this once before in a article that I wrote for LinkedIn on that. I went to Tonga looking at a problem on an island nation. I came back from Tonga and looked at every community around me, and every community is an island. We're all stuck. Nobody wants to transfer their garbage outside their island. Nobody wants to take other islands' garbage. Everybody's stuck here. And it's no different from household to household. People have to stop assuming that and accepting that. Well, my garbage is going outside and I don't have any power of it. Well, you do have power of it. You get to choose who you vote for. You get to choose who's representing you in council, and demand that they change the model, because it is truly up to everybody out there, us included, to be able to voice that opinion and let our councillors know, let our elected officials know that this is no longer acceptable to us. You have to change this model. There's ways. We understand it'll cost, but there is ways, and it's better for our environment. And it's just a matter of actually opening your mouth and saying that out loud. It seems such a simple method, but it is really that. Hey, can you do something about landfilling. Let's stop that. And the answer is yes. There's not just me, but there's a lot of companies out there that can fix this issue.
Totally agree with you. And as I really like what you said there. And as I said, I've seen it all around me. I'm seeing it out my back window. And I was involved with it from day one. And the reason why we didn't do that in 2012, by the way, the bank wouldn't fund it. So
Yeah.
it was unbankable, which is crazy.
And we continue. We've funded my partners and I have funded this plant on top of the mountain. We have zero debt. We haven't borrowed any money because nobody would lend us money. And you just sit back and go, geez, how hard was that? And then you watch an NFT token go for $20 million and go, our world is a little upside down.
Yeah, our world is upside down. Totally.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. So, Earl, I must thank you for today, and obviously your patience from before with our stop, start. It was we should have recorded that. It would have been quite amusing, really. So, Earl, thank you very much. It's late in the day for us, so we're really, we're ready for bed in the UK. But your day's sort of nearly finished. So, thank you very much for joining us. And I'd like to say, you and your family, please be safe in these times.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you giving me this opportunity. And you have a great Christmas and to your family as well.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you for our special guest today. And this episode was presented by umlink.com. And if you want to find out more about energy and you want to find out more about the renewables and the environmental world that we live in, please go to our website at umlink.com and register today. And that leaves me with just one thing to say. Be safe.